measure how empowerment is related to economics is a big question. Out of different types and methods of empowerment, economic empowerment is a very significant concept. There is a direct link between economic empowerment and economic development of any country. So what is empowerment? When does the well-being of a person improve? As you all know that empowerment is the degree of autonomy and self-determination in people and in communities also. This enables them to represent their interests in a responsible and self-determined way, acting on their own authority. It is the process of becoming stronger and more confident, especially in controlling one's life and claiming one's rights. I told you just now, empowerment is a multi-dimensional concept. Empowerment as action refers both to the process of self-empowerment and to professional support of the people in the society, which enables them to overcome their sense of powerlessness and lack of influence and to recognize and use their own resources. Nobel laureate Amartya Kumar Sen, he explains that the freedom to lead different types of life is reflected in the person's capability set. The crisis of black power, student power, and power to the people rang out in 1960s and beyond. The idea of power was central to those social movements.
Thank you.
The work of those groups led to changes in civil rights, care rights, and women's rights also. For example, the women's movement raised important issues regarding women's relative lack of power in personal relationships and their lack of opportunities in the workplace and larger society. Oppressive conditions supported by men-driven laws and policies in the larger society affected women on the individual, organizational, community, and societal levels. So what is empowerment means? When people are empowered, they have the ability to make their own choice, their own preference, their own taste, and change their world. The people have control over their lives and make decisions about important things. Do you know any people living or dead who have been empowered? Such question will arise. Especially the empowerment concept or dimensions is the focal theme of gender economics or economics of women studies. Many participating within these social change movements experienced the greater empowerment, which means gaining greater influence and control over important matters in one's life and environment. Empowerment means to give power to the depressed classes, to give power to the nook and corner of the society, those who are living in the nook and corner of the society and weaker sections of the society. In this context, I would like to quote Rapport's opinion in the year 1981. He proposed that empowerment should be a primary focus of community psychology. It includes women. He believed that empowerment is about helping those with less than their fair share of power to understand their own situation and gain more power. Empowerment in particular, we can say that to gain more power. According to him, empowerment includes considering people's needs, people's choice, their rights, and their preferences also. And it captures the breadth of concern with the powerlessness that many groups experience. The capability of a person mainly depends upon a variety of factors, including personal characteristics and also the social arrangements. However, the full account of individual freedom goes beyond the capabilities of personal living. There is a saying that empowerment is also based upon the capabilities approach or capabilities of a person living to fully address the powerlessness of individuals and also the groups in the society. Efforts toward empowerment must be made on multiple levels also. At the individual level, awareness of one's lack of power can make one more likely to work towards increasing personal power, increasing personal power. For example, if we do not have the courage to choose to live in a particular way, even though we could live with that way if we so chose, can it be said that we do have the freedom to live that way? That is the corresponding capability. Another important point made by Amartya Kumar is saying is that for measurement purposes, one should focus on certain universally valued functioning, which relate to the basic fundamentals of survival and well-being regardless the context. Thus, at a particular level, legal and societal sides of oppression may give rise to societal and also political change. Thus, empowerment is a multi-level concept that impacts individuals, it impacts on organizations, it impacts on communities, and finally, societies. Taking the example of universally valued functioning like proper nourishment, good health, and shelter, Amartya Kumar asserts that if there are systematic gender differences in these very basic functioning achievements, they can be taken as an evidence of inequalities in underlying capabilities rather than differences in preferences. Differences in preferences is very important here with concern to discuss about the empowerment. So individual empowerment, okay, individual empowerment allows people to exercise control and increase self-efficacy. So differences in preferences leads to what is it? The individual empowerment. We have to give autonomy for the individual, every individual, without any discriminating on the basis of the caste, community, creed. That is called individual empowerment. If he is having autonomy in order to take his own decision with consent to his preference, his choice, or that is called the individual empowerment. Self-efficacy can be described as developing a sense of personal power, personal strength, or mastery that aids in increasing one's capacity to act in situations where one feels a lack of power. So in the feminist paradigm, empowerment goes beyond. Empowerment goes beyond one minute. Agenda. Economic betterment and well-being to strategic gender interests. The feminist paradigm in the economics of women's studies or in gender economics, we have studied different theories of feminism. Different theories have been developed by different economists and social scientists, those who are interested in the feminism. Okay, some feminist economists have advocated liberal feminism. Okay, even Karl Marx also. Okay, we can put here Karl Marx theory developed by Karl Marx on the basis of the exploitation. Okay, discrimination. Exploitation should not be there. To overcome from the exploitation and discrimination, okay, radical feminism is very important according to this radical group of the what is it, gender economists or gender social scientists. In contrast, with respect to the well-being and strategic gender interests, psychological empowerment at the individual and group levels requires increased awareness and understanding of the factors that influence our lives. It is a process by which we become aware of the power dynamics that occur at multiple levels in our lives. As Marx, he rightly observed that, or he suggested that empowerment is a process of internal change, our power within augmentation of capabilities, our power to and collective mobilization of women, and when possible, men also, or power with, are to the purpose of questioning and changing the tradition and agenda or power over. So here empowerment means not only women empowerment, even men empowerment also. But in the economics of women studies or in gender economics, we have been concentrating on the economic empowerment of women only, not men, because we thought that we decided that men is empowered already. Okay, woman is second citizen of India, second citizen in any countries of the world. That is why it is necessity to discuss about the empowerment of women, but not like that. Gender issues also includes about the empowerment of men also. The psychological empowerment, as usually, considers the role of the context and influences from external factors that impact the lives of all people, according to Keynes. For example, women in the 1950s were affected by how they were treated both at home and in the workplace also. Changes individually and at a group level can be accomplished through critically examining the situations people find themselves in. People find themselves in. For example, the Black Power movement in the 1960s and the Black Lives Matter movement in the present are responses to the personal and societal oppression African Americans felt and feel as citizens of the United States of America. Dear friends, empowerment can range from personal empowerment that can exist within the existing social order. Thus, this kind of empowerment would correspond to the right to make one's own choices, to increase autonomy, and to control over economic resources. Economic resources or wealth of economy must be shared to one and all equally in the society. Then only equally empowerment will be possible, or we can reach the goal of the empowerment economically. Of all other kinds of empowerment, economic empowerment is a major issue. Then only equality will be existed in any society for that matter. But self-confidence and self-esteem also play an important issue, to change everything in the society. It always creates awareness among the people. That means individuals to identify personal and contextual factors that may be part of empowerment of for particular individuals or the groups also. So these factors may include usually additional skills, access to financial capital, access to other resources and opportunities, and access to individuals with greater power. Thus, this kind of empowerment would correspond to the right to make one's own choices to increase their autonomy and to control over economic resources. Okay, but self-confidence and self-esteem, just I told you, are also play a very important role to change. Methods of empowerment includes usually not limited to or training or developing advocacy skills, studying, becoming self-efficacy, and pursuing resources and opportunities. Okay, empowerment signifies increased participation in decision making. And it is this process through which people feel themselves to be capable of making decisions and the right to of empowerment in two ways: empowering those within the organization and being effective in issues and working well with those outside the organization, such as other organizations and government policies, and can lead to changes in existing institutions and norms. However, without the collective power empowerment, the personal empowerment and choices are limited, as Amartya Kumar said. Societies and incorporate more intra-organizational strategies. The way authority and decision making is shared or not among employees.
Madam, ಏನು ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ.
Sir, not inaudible, sir.
It's network problem. Please wait.
Diverse depending upon the parameters that define the lack of power within the institutional framework in operation. North points out that institutions are humanly devised constraints that shape human behavior, and they structure incentives in human exchange, whether political, social, or economic. We consider ways in which the organization gains and uses enough resources to support its people and also its economic activities. For example, a community group advocating for trans rights holds an effective fundraising effort to support its education initiative to include topics of transgender, gender identity, and cisgendered prejudice in education curriculum in local school level also. And
Sir, PPT is not visible, sir.
visible?
PPT is not visible, sir.
Not visible, eh?
Yes, sir.
PPT not visible. Not. ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ಯಾ ಇದು ಇದನ್ನ ನೀವು ತಿಳಿದು ಹೌದು
Now visible, sir.
Hello.
Now visible, sir. PPT is
Okay. So it is the social or cultural environment that results in the varying degree of empowerment of different members of the society, and which is broadly determined by not only formal constraints such as rules of law, but also informal constraints such as the codes of the conduct also. And with concern to the social or cultural environment, the community level empowerment is another important method. It is also received attention from community and even psychologists also. The community empowerment means a community has the resources and the talent to manage its affairs, to control and influence relevant groups and forces within and outside the community also. And also to develop empowered leaders and community organizations. What is happening here? Something. There is a problem. Okay. It's okay. Now, the World Bank defines empowerment as the process of increasing the capacity of individuals or the groups to make choices and to transform those choices into desired actions and also the outcomes. And it is also very important here to examine the empowerment on the societal level. Empowerment is concerned not only with the psychological sense of control, but also with the equal distribution of resources to one and all. Attention to material and political empowerment on the societal level. Even if empowerment intervenes or carried out at their own levels, they typically must take broader and more structural societal forces into account. The central to this process is actions which both build individual and collective assets and improves the efficiency and fairness of the organizational and institutional context which govern the use of these important assets. We even with concern to the social empowerment concerns, the processes and structures affecting the empowerment of individuals, organizations, and even the communities. So World Bank in the 2011 report confirms that societies that discriminate on the basis of gender pays the cost of greater poverty and also slower economic growth, weaker governance, and the lowest living standard of their people. And the World Bank also identifies 4 important key elements of empowerment to draft institutional reforms and access to information, inclusion and participation, accountability, and local organizational capacity. See, inclusion and the participation level of all the community, okay, all what is it, the male and female in different decision-making processes is the need of the hour. Okay, it is an important step in order to have empowerment. So empowerment is also related to the concepts of social capital and community-driven development, with which it is sometimes confused. I told you already that empowerment is a complexity in nature. According to Krishna, he conducted a study in 2003. His finding of the study is empowerment means increasing the capacity of individuals. Capacity means to work in the organizations, work in different capacities, okay, or groups to make effective development and life choices and to transform these choices into desired actions and outcomes. So without capacity, we are not in a position to transform our own choices, you know. Okay, if you want to reach our goals, our capacity is also very important. It is by nature a process and an outcome. So with concern to the types of empowerment, cultural empowerment, political empowerment, national empowerment, societal empowerment, economic empowerment, and so on. Even administrative empowerment is also, okay, we can talk about it. With concern to the cultural empowerment, usually what we say always social empowerment and economic empowerment. In some extent, we talk about political empowerment also. What the things to do with the cultural empowerment means the language, food, clothing, religion, customs, and their history. Language is an important instrument in order to have our own empowerment. at the changing global environment. Language. If you are comfortable in English, if you're comfortable in Hindi, you can move anywhere in India and outside India also. Okay, it is also considered as an important milestone for the empowerment. Language, even food habits, the clothing, the religion, and so on. And we consider political empowerment, government, voting, and political. Okay, voting power is also very important. Voting, we're not going to touch upon much about the political empowerment since we're all from economics faculty, no? So our discussion and analysis must be confined to the economic empowerment. So the national empowerment, decision making process is very important for the empowerment. In order to have national building process, both men and women and all the community people should take part in the decision making process. So in some countries only men is going to take decision than women, isn't it? Even for all activities, decision making, it includes different issues. Decision making is in order to have education, in order to have employment, job in different levels, whether in agriculture, industry, or service sector, and with concern to have their own dress, in order to have their own name, in order to have their own, choice, to purchase anything, that is called decision making. Decision making must be given to all the people in society, not only for men. Say for example, in a family, only a man is dominating, is going to take decision for all his housing sector. We have to give equal priority for women also, even in the housing sector. In societal empowerment, the community or other people are protesting and complaining when one such section of society is treated unfairly. Societal empowerment or social empowerment. Social equality, gender equality or equality in all sphere of life. Economic empowerment, it includes job, money, needs, and wants. That is economic empowerment. We always thinking about or talking about money, job only. Power, economic power, isn't it? Economic power is important in order to have our own development in society. With all other types of empowerment, economic empowerment is an important. Then there will be exploitation. There will be unequal in the society, etc., etc. So empowerment, it is having its self-image, and it is having important options, different options, and also the accessibility to all the goods and services, and also education, growth, and some positive thinking. Why positive thinking is included in this this one, empowerment, no? So where there is a negative thinking, we cannot achieve the goal of the empowerment. Positive thinking must be there, for all. Wherever you go, you think about negatively. We are wasting the time in order to think about others' development in negativity, not positively. There is no positive thinking at all. If all the people are having the positive thinking in the housing sector and outside the housing, definitely there will be empowerment. There will be development, equal development. So positive thinking must. We should have positive thinking always. Then only all policies or all programs will be helpful for the empowerment. In this context, I would like to share my own opinion that once our Prime Minister, ex-Prime Minister Manmohan Singh has visited China, to inaugurate one conference. One fellow he stood up and raised the question. So Manmohan Singh ji, you are a great economist. Now you are the Prime Minister of India. Under your able guidance, Indian economy will be going in a faster way. Sure, definitely, I'm an economist, a professor of economics, I'm Prime Minister. But dear friend, do you think that all policies and programs are going to help the people without having positive thinking? He answered like that. So positive thinking is also very important. We should not think that only policy, only economic reforms are helpful for the empowerment. Okay, policy is also very important. Reforms also very important. At the same time, positive thinking, okay, with concern to women, with concern to weaker sections, okay, is also equally very, very important. So I would like to tell you about the important types of empowerment. Here I have listed 5 main types of empowerment. One is information sharing. Okay, information sharing is also important, equally important. If you have information about the future, no, if you have the information you only, if you are not going to share with others, no, okay, that will be not helpful for the equitable development. Okay, and upward problem solving. Upward problem solving. Okay, there will be always a problem. There will be critical situation in the society, in the economy. We don't know what kind of problem is going to arise. So upward problem solving is also very important. We should have always the positive thinking in order to solve the problem in the future days. And task autonomy. Autonomy in all respects. So majority from outside Karnataka, no? So I don't want to speak in Kannada. So majority from outside Karnataka also, na? Okay. Chandrasekhar?
Sir, majority from Karnataka, sir.
Karnataka?
Yes, sir. I am from Chelkere, sir.
Oh, fine. Okay.
Near your village, Lingadahalli.
Oh, good. Okay. Irli.
Village name is P. Mahadevapura.
Pardon?
P. Mahadevapura, near Nagapanahalli gate.
Oh, fine. Okay.
How are you, sir? Fine.
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you.
I'll talk to you afterwards. Okay. So attitudinal shaping. Employees are trying to feel empowered and more confident in their interaction with customers. ಈಗ attitude ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ಬದಲಾವಣೆ ಬಹಳ ಮುಖ್ಯ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸಬಲೀಕರಣ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಸಶಸ್ತ್ರೀಕರಣ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಉದ್ಯೋಗದಾತ ಉದ್ಯೋಗಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಅಟಾನಮಿ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದು. Okay, autonomy must be given to the employees, the employer. Okay, so then only they have their own feeling with concern to their choices. Okay, the self-management in relation to a set of the work task also. Self-management of all the choices, all the choices. Okay, they are going to take. So without having the capacities of the self-management with concern to a crisis, no. So those people, they can't reach the goal of the empowerment. And even the conceptual framework of the empowerment of women. Now I am concentrating on the empowerment of the women, because the empowerment concept always we talk about women only. Conceptual, okay, framework of empowerment of women includes economic, social, health, and education. Okay, so economic empowerment is including money and what is their job, income level, saving level, etc. Society means so equal opportunities on par with the men in the society with concern to the decision making and the household, even with concern to the physical movement. That is called social empowerment of women. And health, with concern to health issues also. I know that we are giving topmost priority for the boys' health. Okay, not for female health. No. ಗಂಡ್ಮಕ್ಳಿಗೆ ಹುಷಾರಿಲ್ಲದ್ರೆ ಏನ್ ಹಡ್ಪಡಿಸ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ, ಹೆಣ್ಮಕ್ಳಾದ್ರೆ ಇರ್ಲಿ ಬಿಡವ ನೋಡೋಣ ಅಂತ. So that kind of discrimination must not be there ಅಂತ. So even for health conditions also we have to give equal importance for even men and women. ಗಂಡ್ಮಕ್ಳಿಗೆ ಒಂದು, ಹೆಣ್ಮಕ್ಳಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಹೆಸರಿಡುವಾಗ, ವಿದ್ಯೆ ಕೊಡುವಾಗ, ಉದ್ಯೋಗ ಕೊಡುವಾಗ we are giving topmost priority for the boys only, not what is say girls. Not there. That's why empowerment of women, it includes all these important issues. Education, okay, magana doctor ಮಾಡಿಸೋದು ಮಗಳಿಗೆ ಬೇಡ ಅನ್ನೋದು. Okay, that kind of discrimination must be there. Why you are giving topmost priority for only the boy? This is male-dominated society. Okay, male-dominated society. Always in the male-dominated society, there will be exploitation of women, isn't it? Discrimination of women. So, yeah, education shall be given equal to all, either the boy or the girl. So information, education, communication, that is IEC. So information must be shared to all. Okay, education also equally given to all. Even the communication also given equally to all. Then only total empowerment is possible. So it comes into the conceptual framework of empowerment of women. Second, it includes three issues or dimensions. One is social, second one is political, third one is economic dimension. Social dimension. So it includes women gain control over their own lives, confidence, self-esteem, action to act on issues that they define as empowerment, redefining of rules and norms, and recreating of cultural and symbolic practices. See, now it comes into women, ಹೆಣ್ಮಕ್ಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದಾಗ ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ತಾತ್ಸರ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಸಿಟಿಜನ್ ಆಫ್ ಸೊಸೈಟಿ ಅಂತ ಕರೆಯುವಂಥದ್ದು ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಆಟಿಟ್ಯೂಡ್ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿವೆ. That is what is the obstacle to the development of women. ಆಗಿರಬಾರ್ದು. It has been changed a lot over a period of time. ಇವಾಗ ಆ ಥರದ್ದಿಲ್ಲ. It has been changed a lot. ಮಹಿಳೆಯರು ಬಂದಾಗ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ರ ಅನುಮಾನ ಹಾಗೆ ಹೀಗೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಮಾಡೋದು ಅವೆಲ್ಲ ಉಂಟು. ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತ ಶ್ಲೋಕದಲ್ಲಿ ನೆನಪಾಗುತ್ತಿಲ್ಲಿ ಔದುಂಬರಾಣಿ ಪುಷ್ಪಾಣಿ ಶ್ವೇತ ವರ್ಣಂಚ ವಾಯಸಂ ಮತ್ಸ್ಯಪಾದಂ ಜಲೇಶ್ಪರ್ಶನ್ ನಾರಿ ಹೃದಯಂ ನ ಪ್ರಶಿತಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಹೆಣ್ಮಕ್ಳ ವಿಷಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಾಗ ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಆ ಗಂಡ್ಮಕ್ಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಆತರ ಏನು ಹೇಳೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಔದುಂಬರಾಣಿ ಪುಷ್ಪಾಣಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಹತ್ತಿಯ ಗಿಡದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಹೂವನ್ನಾರು ನೋಡಬಹುದು ಅಂತ ನೋಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯನೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಶ್ವೇತ ವರ್ಣಂಚ ವಾಯಸಂ ಬಿಳಿಯ ಕಾಯಿಯನ್ನು ನೋಡಬಹುದು ಅಂತ. ಮತ್ಸ್ಯಪಾದಂ ಜಲೇಶ್ಪರ್ಶನ್ ನೀರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಮೀನಿನ ಜಾಡನ್ನು ಹಿಡಿಯಬಹುದು, ಇಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಆದ್ರೆ ನಾರಿ ಹೃದಯಂ ನ ಪಶ್ಯತಿ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಹೆಣ್ಣಿನ ಜಾಡನ್ನು ಹಿಡಿಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ. ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಕಟ್ಟುಕಥೆಗಳು. ಓಕೆ, ಕಟ್ಟುಕಥೆ ಕಟ್ಟು ಹಾಕ್ತೀರಿ ಹೆಣ್ಮಕ್ಳನ್ನ, ಆಯ್ತಾ? ನೀನು ಗೃಹಿಣಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ, ದೇವತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಹೋಲಿಸಿ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಹಿಯರ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ ದ ಹೌಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್, ಯು ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಸಪೋಸ್ ಟು ಕ್ರಾಸ್ ದಿ ಹೌಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಮೊದಲಿಂದನೂ ಕೂಡ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ರೆಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ವುಮೆನ್. But if woman is having a stronger capabilities, skills, knowledge, self-esteem, self-confidence, we have not at all provided much, the opportunities for the women. So social empowerment is also very important. If a father or brothers, or the male in the household sector are restricted the women, no? So women cannot come forward to take her own decision in the society. That is why all the male should be encouraged the female for the development of the women. That is social empowerment. So Indian society is a hierarchical society. So if there are such kind of practices in the household sector, so women cannot come forward to take their own decision or to reach their goal. So political empowerment is also very important issue here. Women have capacity to analyze, organize, and mobilize to change policies, practices, and state institutions. Okay, we have to give opportunities to even women in the political decision making also. We have given only 33% of reservation for the women in the Panchayat Raj system. Okay, ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಯಾಕೆ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಕೊಡಬಾರ್ದು ಅನ್ನೋ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಕೂಡ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ನಮ್ಮ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಜೆಂಡರ್ ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆಲ್ ಫೆಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಂಗ್ಲಿ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯೂ ದಟ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ರೈಟ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಆಪರ್ಚುನಿಟೀಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಗಿವನ್ ಟು ವುಮೆನ್ ಅಂತ ಇನ್ ಆಲ್ ಸ್ಪಿಯರ್ ಆಫ್ ಲೈಫ್ ಅಂತ. ಓಕೆ, ಅದರ್ ಇಟ್ ಸೊಸೈಟಿ ಅಂಡ್ ಪಾಲಿಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಇನ್ ದಿ ಡಿಸಿಷನ್ ಮೇಕಿಂಗ್ ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ ಸೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ಸೊ ವುಮೆನ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ ಟು ಅನಲೈಸ್. There are good number of women leaders in our country, even other countries also, but compared to men, only a few. So even in the Karnataka state government also, only one woman is having ministership. Okay, in Karnataka state present context, where 33% of reservation has been given to women. isn't it? So empowerment means equal opportunity shall be given to women in the political sector also. And economic, women access to secure and sustainable incomes and livelihoods. You are all economics teachers, we very well know about okay, what are the important factors held responsible for the economic empowerment of women. Okay, sustainable income and livelihoods. So, say for example, man is earning, woman is earning, no? But she doesn't have any power to spend, and their choice, isn't it? And their preference. Always husband will restrict. Alva, ಗಂಡ ಹೆಂಡತಿ ಕೆಲಸದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ, ಹೆಂಡತಿ ಸಂಬಳ ತಂದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಗಂಡ ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕು, ಜನಶೇಖರ ಗಂಡ ಕೊಡ್ಬಿಡ್ಬೇಕು, isn't it? ಆಯ್ತಾ, ಅದು ಪದ್ಧತಿ ಇದೆ. I have seen many instances. Okay, instances.
ಹೌದು
ಅಲ್ವಾ? That must not be there in that. When she is capable, when she is autonomy to earn, okay, at the same time, ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಅವ್ರ ಇಷ್ಟದಂತೆ ಅವ್ರ ಉದ್ದೇಶಕ್ಕೆ ನಿರ್ಧಾರ ಕೈಗೊಳ್ಳಕ್ಕೆ, you have to give autonomy to women to spend money. When she know how to earn, okay, she should know how to spend, how to save. Economics will we speak about how to earn, how to spend, how to save, alva. Our ಈ concepts shall be given to even women also ಅಂತ. ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಪರ್ಮಿಷನ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ earn ಅಂತ, ಬಟ್ to spend and to save ಇಲ್ಲ, ಕೊಡೋಣ ಲೆಕ್ಕ ಕೊಡೋದು ಕೇಳೋಂಥದ್ದು, ಆಯ್ತಾ? So empowerment ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳುವಂಥದ್ದು equal opportunities shall be given to women in all sphere of life ಅಂತ. Okay, ಆವಾಗಲೇ ಎಂಪವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇರೋದು. To reach the empowerment goal now, so equal response, equal opportunities shall be given to society, politics and economics ಅಂತ ಹೇಳುವಂಥದ್ದು. And building blocks to a holistic approach to women's economic empowerment. I have listed here. One is access to equitable and safe employment. Okay, safe employment ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ನಾವು women ಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, safe employment. So we're not supposed to encourage the women to work night and even some okay, what is say unsafe works, okay, in the industry sector. Alva, ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ safe employment and equitable access will be given to women in order to have economic empowerment. Equal opportunities shall be given for education and training also. Training ಕೊಡುವಾಗ ಕೆಲವಕ್ಕೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಕೊಡೋದು ನಾವು ಯಾರಿಗೆ, ವುಮೆನ್ಗೆ, ಓನ್ಲಿ ಫಾರ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್, ಬೇರೆದು ಕೊಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಉದಾಹರಣೆಗೆ ಅವ್ರು ಯಾವ್ದಾರ ಒಂದು ಫ್ಲೈಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಲ್ವಾ, ಕ್ಯಾಪ್ಟನ್ ಆಗ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಯಾಕೆ ಕೊಡ್ಬಾರ್ದು ಅವಕಾಶ? ಓಕೆ, ಏವಿಯೇಷನ್ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ, ಓಕೆ, ಇನ್ನು ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಕೆಲಸಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಭಾಗಿಯಾಗಲಿಕ್ಕೆ we have to encourage women, have to train the women to work in different employment sector. And third one is access to and control over economic resources and opportunities. Okay, see, economic resources and opportunities, control over economic resources and opportunities. Okay, compared to men in household sector, women, okay, control economic resources. She know how to access, how to control economic resources and opportunities, how to manage the house. Okay, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಳೋದವ್ರನ್ನ ಗೃಹಿಣಿ ಅಂತ ಗೃಹ ಮಂತ್ರಿ ಅಂತ ಕರೆಯೋದವ್ರಿಗೆ, ಆಯ್ತಾ? ದುಡಿಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅವಕಾಶ ಕೊಟ್ಟಾಗ, ಆಯ್ತಾ, ಅವ್ರು ಖರ್ಚು ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅವಕಾಶ ಕೊಡಿ, ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ ಹೌಸ್
ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಈಕೋಸ್ ಮತ್ತು ನೋಮೋಸ್, ಗೃಹ ನಿರ್ವಹಣೆ ಕಲೆ ಹೆಣ್ಮಕ್ಳಿಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ಅಂತ,
ಹೆಣ್ಮಕ್ಳಿಗೆ ಇರುವಂತದ್ದು ಅಂತ, ಹೆಣ್ಮಕ್ಳಿಗೆ ಇರುವಂತದ್ದು. ಆದ್ರೆ ಗಂಡಸರು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾ, ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ದುಡಿತಾರೆ, ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಖರ್ಚು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಉಳಿಸೋದಿಲ್ಲ.
ಸೇವಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಬಂದು ಸೇವಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ತುಂಬಾ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಸೇವಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ವುಮೆನ್ಸೇ ಮಾಡೋದು.
ಹೌದೌದು, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನೀವು ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕು, ಈಗ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಆಪರ್ಚುನಿಟೀಸ್ ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕು, ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಅಟಾನಮಿ ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕು ಮನೇಲಿ. You have to give full autonomy to the women in this house. Okay, there only your household will be good. Your children will be good. That is called access to and control over economic resources and opportunities to the women.
Totally in the house, she is a boss.
Okay, access to and control over reproductive health and family formation. See, this is very important issue. Okay, family formation. Only men will take decision. Only 3 or 2 enough. And we won't encourage the woman opinions also. If woman is not interested to go for second and third boy, no, ಒಬ್ಬರಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು ಕಂಡಲ್ಲ ಆಯ್ತಾ ಒಂದು ಮಗಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು 2 ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಬೇಕು 3 ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಬೇಕು 4 ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಬೇಕು ಅಪ್ಪ ಅಮ್ಮ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ. Isn't it? We're not supposed to do like that. Okay, so one important. Okay, so 1 or 2 that decision taken by both husband and wife are men and women. That is called access to reproductive health and the family formation. One second, sorry to what is the social protection and child care. See, family formation, reproductive health care, we are not going to give equal opportunities to take decision. With concern to the child care matra, we are giving full autonomy to the woman. Okay, it is responsibility of the woman. You have to take care of the children. Alva, today how there is discrimination in the society. Alva, child care responsibility, protection of total housing is the responsibility of the woman, not men. And with concern to take decision about the reproductive health, the family formation, only men will take decision. Okay, that must not be there. Okay, then freedom from the risk of violence. That is the 6th important branch to holistic approach to the women's economic empowerment. And with concern to the voice in society and policy influence, okay, is also to be discussed with concern to women's economic empowerment. So in the society, women voice play a very important role. We have to give, okay, preference for the women's voice in society. And also in order to have the policy formation also, women influence must be there. So in the policy matter, only male dominated policies are going to be implemented. Or which policies are going to be helpful for the male? Okay, we give topmost priority for the policies. Okay, that must not be there. Or all the gender economists or feminist economists have strongly observed that there must be equal opportunities for the voice in the society to men and women, and also in concern to the policy influence. Okay, equal opportunities will be given to women. Then only we are going to have women's economic empowerment. And freedom of movement is very important. Okay, majority of women teachers are here. Okay, freedom of movement from one place to another place, from one place to other, one country to other country. ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ ಹೆಣ್ಮಕ್ಳಿಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಇರೋಂತ ಪಕ್ಕದ ಸ್ಕೂಲಲ್ಲಿ ಓದಬೇಕು, ಪಕ್ಕದ ವಿಶ್ವವಿದ್ಯಾಲಯ ಓದಬೇಕು. We have to study, okay, the nearest university or nearest college ಅಂತ. Okay, we restrict like that. But for the boys, we are not going to restrict, isn't it? We are not going to restrict for the boys. ಅವ್ರು ಫಾರಿನ್ ಕಳಿಸ್ತೀವಿ, ಅಮೆರಿಕ ಓದ್ಬೇಕು ನನ್ನ ಮಗ ಅಂತ. ಓಕೆ, ಮಗ ಹೇಳುವಾಗ no, you don't go for other country. Okay, you have to study here only. You have to stay in our house itself. Anta, we will not encourage for the women. That must not be there. Freedom of movement must be, okay, given to even women also. And with concern to different perspectives to women's development. Sorry, I have one urgent work. Wait, only 1 minute. ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಹೇಳಿ ಸೈನ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಹೇಳಿ ಕೊಡಮ್ಮ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಡೇಟ್ ಇದೆಯಲ್ವಾ, ಈಗ ನನ್ನ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಸಾರಿ, ನೀವು ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರ್ಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಡಿ, ಸೈನ್ ಹಾಕೋದಕ್ಕೆ. ಸೈನ್ ಹಾಕ್ಬೋದು. ಎಷ್ಟೊತ್ತು ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಡೇಟ್ ಯಾವಾಗ? 5:30 ಅಪ್ಲೋಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂತ. ಅಯ್ಯೋ ಸಾರಿ, 1 ನಿಮಿಷ. ಅಂಡ್ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್, ಯು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಮೈ problem. So today last date for research scholars to upload.
Okay, no problem.
Project. Only 5 minutes. Sorry.
No problem.
Okay, sir.